Hello and welcome to this edition in which you're joining us on India's first live conversation web TV, that's indiapostlive.com. I'm Rukma and we'll be talking about superstar Rajnikant's much-awaited movie Kochadaiiyaann, which is finally here. The film will hit theatres tomorrow after one too many delays. Now the big question is, will the movie live up to the hype? We take a look.
कोचढ़ियान प्रजा के दिल में राजा से भी अधिक प्रिय सेना.
Superstar Rajnikant's much-awaited and long-due film Kochadaiiyaann will finally hit cinemas this Friday. So far, the film has had at least a dozen delays. Despite being let down a number of times, the Thalaiva fans are as excited as they were from the beginning about Kochadaiiyaann, the Tamil motion capture 3D computer animated film.
कोचढ़ियान अपने देश और देशवासियों की रक्षा के लिए जन्मा है.
Made on a budget of $21 million, Kochadaiiyaann is directed by Rajini's daughter, Saundarya Rajnikant Ashwin. So will his new avatar take the audience by storm?
तो बाहर से ही नहीं, भीतर से भी कोचढ़ियान है.
वही खून है, तो वैसा ही होगा.
Welcome once again. Well, that was about Rajnikant's much-hyped movie that is soon to hit theatres here in India tomorrow. You're watching India's first live conversation web TV, that's indiapostlive.com, and you can participate anytime via Google Hangout or Skype. Well, joining me here in this conversation is Mr. Atul Sinha, who is the Assistant Professor Graphics and Animation from Jamia University, and also Mr. Diwakar Menon, who is a professor cinematography from Jamia University. Also joining me is Mr. Ram, who is the co-author of Grand Brand Rajni, who's joining me from Chennai, and also PC Bala, who is the author of this book. Well, first of all, coming to you, Diwakar, the movie has been delayed multiple times. How do you think this will affect the response of the audience?
See, a Rajini film will, I think the delay is not the factor. You see, the fact that it is going to hit the screen and the fact is that it's a Rajini film, all said and done. Therefore, he has his fan mail and it's a huge base. I think now it's gone global completely. And therefore, there are tons of people waiting and bursting at the theatre just for it to open tomorrow. So it's going to be a big blast.
Right, coming to you, Atul. The movie was earlier slated, the last date when it was postponed again was the 9th of May, that's just a few days ago. The makers said it was delayed again due to technical issues. As a professor of animation yourself, this is supposed to be a groundbreaking movie in terms of Indian cinema. What would you say could have been these technical issues?
There might be glitches with the censor board because they were reviewing they were issuing censor board certificates for each language where the film which was released in. It was released in Japanese, Bengali and other languages, almost 8 to 10 languages. So that might have caused the delay.
Right, and meanwhile, the fact that it's been delayed time and again, how do you look at this?
As Professor Diwakar
apparently, it's been compared to movies like Avatar and Tintin, and while those have taken maybe 7 years or more, this Saundarya claims has taken much less time.
That's a false claim. Actually, this film also took around 6 to 7 years. Originally, they were producing a film called Sultan the Warrior, and then Rana, which will be a sequel to this one, and then finally they came with this film.
Right. Let's go across now to Keshav, who joins us from Dubai. Welcome to the conversation, Keshav. When Rajnikant's much-hyped film has been released in Dubai, tell us about how you are looking at this.
See, basically, it's like very people are just looking. A lot of media advertisements were there regarding the release of this movie, and a lot of the radio stations were offering tickets for these movies. So it's like as any, even though there has been a delay in releasing the movie, but any day it's a Rajni film, so people just are just waiting for the day the first show starts, you know. So I was told that almost all the theaters, the tickets are already booked for almost a week from now.
Right, theaters almost booked for almost a week from now.
Yes, that's positive, good news.
Right.
See, the point is that, you know, it's a film, a cinema is created brick by brick. It doesn't happen like that, you know. So the entire process of evolving the film takes time. And I think Saundarya, you know, being her maiden attempt at direction, and also very sensitive because she's handling her father, who's like a big, who's a dynamite. And when you have a dynamite in your hand, you have to be careful because it can explode anyway. So, you know, so I think it's been a precautionary measure that they've been taking continuously, refining it continuously, you know, in terms of colors, in terms of the action sequences, and in terms of the music. I think every way they've taken all the precautions to ensure that it's a good product.
Right, right. Well, we are joined now by P.C. Bala, as we had told you earlier. Mr. Bala, we were just speaking with Keshav and he told us about how tickets there in Dubai have been booked for almost a week ahead. Is this the kind of response you were expecting?
Of course, there is absolutely no surprise in this. This is just a factual report, and anybody would expect this to happen. And to answer your earlier question which you asked, Professor, I feel he's perfectly correct. Any delay in the Chinese movie's release is not going to have a major impact as regards the fans' excitement and frenzy is going to be concerned. It is going to be only entertainment delayed and entertainment, not entertainment denied. So I feel it is a excitement time for all of us.
Right, Diwakar, and as you were telling us, the phenomenon that Rajnikant is, Keshav was also telling us about how tickets have been booked in Dubai, and you were telling us a very interesting fact about the origin of this film, in fact, how it was meant originally for a foreign audience.
Yeah, actually, you see, it all started off with a film called Dalapati, which was released in Japan, and it became a huge success. And subsequently, many of Rajini's films have been, you know, mopped up, and the revenue generated was huge. And hence, they looked at, you know, something trying to recreate a samurai kind of a film for the Japanese audience. But then the Japanese audience, you know, the cinema is again to do with emotions and, you know, human interest material. So they have tried to make it a universally appealing film. And therefore it has taken time, and a huge component of it is on animation. Therefore, you know, some of the problems which I felt was that, you know, some of the trailers which have come, they are not, you know, they look like cutouts, like, you know, they don't look like the real Rajini, you know, whose eyes and features are very mobile, very alive. So there's some kind of a, you know, coldness in the whole thing. And I think that will be explained by Atul. He's an animator, so he'll be able to tell us.
Right. In fact, Atul, coming to you, animation and cartoon, is the Indian audience basically ready for this kind of a film, to relate to this kind of a film and to differentiate between the two?
With Rajnikant involved in the film, it will be for everyone. But usually Indian audience, they consider any animated film as a children film. They consider it as a cartoon. They don't consider it as a mainstream film for adults. And the reason for the plasticity in the film can be the budget factor, because this film costed around 125 crore. And if you look at Avatar, it costed around 3,000 crore, and Tintin 4,000 crores. So the budget issue is very high. The budget is different.
Right. Well, let's talk to our guests who've joined us via Skype. And, Mr. P.C. Bala, you just listened to our experts and how he's referred to the kind of plastic element that could be seen in the movie because of the budget factor. There's also the matter of the delay in the release of the movie, how it was delayed multiple number of times. How do you see these factors affecting the response to the movie?
See, it is like this. Brand Rajini is always associated with differentiation, delivery, and dominance. As long as this movie is going to deliver what is expected, if it contains a good content, the storyline is good, if it is fast-paced, and you have plenty of Rajini experience for all the audience, I'm sure these delays are not going to have impact. Having said that, it is intriguing as well as intimidating. You know, if it looks to be a plastic image on screen, I'm sure millions of people are going to get disappointed. I hope it is not. So let us wait to see how it actually turns out to be. One has to watch the movie, but I think the initial feedback from Dubai is very, very good. One of my contacts called me and told me that the initial feedback has been very, very good.
Right.
It also could be from a frantic fan, so we need to still wait and see.
Right. Well, the Rajini value has been stressed on by Mr. Bala again and again.
Absolutely, yeah, the brand image.
Right. And Ram, coming to you, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you've written about the cult figure that Rajinikanth is. How do you see this movie? Is only a person like him, an actor like him, a person of his, a star of his stature, is he the only person who can take such a risk, or do you see this setting a trend for Bollywood as well?
See, as far as his fan base is concerned, superstar Rajinikanth has already become a kind of a cult. So there is a maniacal following for Rajini the superstar. So just like an Apple, if the iPhone 6 is delayed, I don't think people are going to get disappointed, but rather they will be waiting for it to get released at a particular date. So I think the fan base is already established. So there is no question about people, the fans wait. What can I say? The film getting delayed or the fans getting disappointed over the delay. I think that's not going to be a matter because he's a cult brand. People are waiting for him to come on the silver screen, no matter what. However, there is one important point, and that is about the animation. I think we should use the word animation here because this movie is about performance capturing technology. Now, it is the perception that we all think it is going to be a cartoon-like film which is going to happen on the screen. And how best they are going to use this performance capturing technology to close the gap, that is going to mark the success of the movie. So if they are able to close the gap where people can relate the same Rajinikanth they see in Basha or Talapadi or Muthu, if they can visualize and say that he is absolutely the same Rajinikanth which we have seen before, I don't think there's going to be a problem.
Right. Well, you're joining us on India's first live conversation web TV, indiapostlive.com, and you can participate anytime in the conversation via Google Hangout or Skype. Coming to you, Atul, when we talk about motion capture technology, will this movie at the end of the day be a value for money?
It will be definitely, and it will be an added value for the animation industry in India. Because if you look at the past few films which have been released in India, none of them have made more than 1 crore or 2 crore, 3 crore maximum. Like Arjun the Warrior, which was released a few years back, it made only 1 crore. So that this film will definitely change the way industry works here.
And having said that, Professor Diwakar, the films will change, the way they are made will change. So at the end of the day, are fans going to get less of Rajinikanth?
Not really. You see, the point is that it is, his shelf life is increased. This kind of a technology being used, you see, the shelf life of the man is increased. Because one of the reasons why they thought of this kind of a technique is also because Rajini was not well and he was hospitalized and he was in treatment and things like that. So that they kind of, in order to circumvent the whole thing, and in order to be able to, his fans are basically so huge following he has because of his action sequences. So they realize that maybe you capture his image and make the image do all those actions which he normally does himself. So that's why they probably may have resorted to this kind of a thing. But nevertheless, it's done a wonderful thing for the industry, for the animation industry, for the millions of animators who have got a lot of hopes now. Also because a lot of, in terms of the cost factor is much cheaper in India. A lot of work from Hollywood has also started coming into India. So I think it's good for us.
Right.
In fact, if you look at the cast of the film, it has Nagesh, who is no longer there, and they have
he's been resurrected.
Been recreated, and he is in the film now.
So will this entirely change how films work?
Yeah, in India, definitely it will.
Yeah. So it's like, tomorrow they can bring back MGR again, because although he's no more, but they can probably bring him back.
Right. Let's go across now. Let's speak to Bala. Bala, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can.
What excites you most about this film? Fans are saying that it's because they'll be seeing Rajnikant, of course, in a typical role, and then also they're in a leaner, in a fitter avatar. He's supposed to be performing a dance number as well.
Yeah, see, it is like this. You're going to see superstar Rajini on screen after perhaps 4 years. I mean, that itself is a huge excitement. Even if it is an animated movie or a motion capture film, you're going to listen to his dialogues, powerful dialogue delivery for perhaps 2 hours. I think the length of the movie is close to 120 minutes. And this is excitement for all of us. For a fan who is 80 years old or for a fan who is 80 years old. This is itself is an excitement. The other excitement, it's a new experiment all said and done. It's a great experiment for the country itself. And a very young
a great experiment and lots of excitement. We are joined by a big fan here of Rajnikant, Ashish. Ashish, tell us how excited you are.
Oh, I cannot put it to words, ma'am. It's like, after 4 years, we're gonna see him on screen, and that's like the biggest thing. So I'm looking forward, man. I've booked 2 shows in the morning. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I can only comment that much about it.
Right, Ashish, but even...
Can I add on this?
Yes, please come in.
See, watching a Rajni film is no more to go and see Rajnikant. It's the whole experience of going to the theatre and looking at his launch of his character coming in, the first scene, the first action thing he does, the first style statement he makes. That is the experience which people are waiting for. So no matter what, everybody is going to enjoy.
Right, Keshav, is that what you think as well? Everyone's going to enjoy, or will it be a disappointment after all the delays, after what our experts have pointed out about the plastic kind of element, because maybe the technology has not developed that well, maybe the amount of money that was put in was perhaps not enough, the less amount of time that was taken compared to other classics like Avatar and so on?
See, this part of the world, I think this part of the world, I don't think when you have a lot of expats from India, I don't think disappointment as far as the Rajini movie is concerned is going to be there. The other factor here, which all of them, the younger crowd, the age group between 8 to 16 are looking at is the animation concept, what they have tried to bring in this movie. Of course, the age group of 16 and above are definitely going to enjoy this movie, and definitely since it's a Rajini movie, they're all looking forward for it. I'm sure it's not going to give any kind of a disappointment, because end of the day, of late, both the superstars from Tamil Nadu have been giving something different, and that's exactly what the crowd out here is looking for also. I'm sure it's going to be a super hit movie out of this part of the world.
Right, Keshav. Ashish, coming to you. We've heard you've changed your name to Ashish Rana after, or rather Rana Ashish. After Thalaivar's film, upcoming film, it was supposed to be originally, that was supposed to be the original name, but it was later changed. Tell us what he means to you.
Ma'am, more than the superstar I see in him, I'm seeing him as a role model, a real life hero. So whatever is happening in his life is a part of my life too. Whatever disappointment I feel. See, so Rana was dropped. So that name actually, first it attracted me, and then thing that I had on mind is I can at least have that name in my fixed with my name, so that it will be remembered. So most of my friends from Malaysia, they call me with that name, and so I feel happy about that actually. So at least even if the film is not released, I named myself like that when the film was about to begin. So I have no thing. I'm happy about it actually.
Right. Well, Rana Ashish, coming to you, Professor Divakar, we've just heard the kind of adulation, the kind of hero worship that we have for Rajnikant.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is this? How do you compare it to another star, like say perhaps Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan? Can actors like Shah Rukh Khan take the kind of risk that Rajnikant has taken?
Well, I think they all take a kind of a shared risk. You see, what is happening particularly in Bollywood is that any successful film from the South is remade into in Hindi. But then now, in order to, they've sealed that possibility because they have dubbed the film in Hindi also and released it. So therefore they will mop up the revenue from the Hindi crowd also. So, but then if you compare Shah Rukh has also been doing identical things. He has tried to encash on the same elements. Primarily, I think, the star cult and the kind of following that we have all over the country is absolutely unique. And the kind of films which we have, the kind of music which we love, the kind of dances which we love, they are replicated in every tomorrow. If there's a shadi happening and there's a barat, they will be singing the same songs. So the things perpetuates. It's a continuous process.
Right, a continuous process, Atul. Do you look at it also that way, or do you see this as marking a total departure from traditional cinema as it has been till now in India?
No, it's not a departure, because if you look at this film also, it has song and dance, so it carries on all those elements which are eminent in the films that we do.
Right, Mr. Bala. You've just heard what our experts have said, and we've talked about the cult figure that Rajnikant is, and how very soon we could see other stars emulate him. In your eyes, is it possible?
No, you cannot recreate Rajnikant. That is impossible. It is a 40-year-old brand which has evolved over a period of time. And I will sum it up like this. Look at it. When he was launched in the year 1975, my good friend Ram and I would have grown watching him. Okay, we would have been anywhere between 10 to 14 years of age. And so there is a group of people who are in the age of 45 to 55 who just admire him because we have seen him grow as a great actor and then a star, superstar, and beyond that. And after 1990, the very popular movies like Annamalai, Badshah, there were a series of such movies, Badshah, Mannan, Thalapathy, and so on. A new set of audience fans were added actually to Rajnikant. They saw something phenomenally great about him, so a new breed of people joined them. And post Shivaji, which became a national movie, and Robo, which became an international movie, spreading to certain other geography, he has actually added few more fans. The children, a lot of children have now become his fans. And I firmly believe that Kochadaiiyaann, he's going to add a few more set of people whom have watched any of his earlier movies. I mean, so the first time they'll be watching on screen, somebody like Rajinikanth, even if it is a animated or a motion captured Rajinikanth, doesn't matter. I'm sure he is going to add plenty of new fans. I don't think any other star has done this to this extent. I firmly believe in that.
Right, no other star has done it to this extent. That's what PC Bala feels. Well, Ram, what would you like to say as a final word?
See, one thing is that Indians have not rejected cartoons from day one. Whether you see a movie like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's a big successful movie long ago. So we have never rejected cartoons. Still, I love to watch Tom and Jerry. So I think we are not people who will reject cartoons outright. But however, I need to go back and say that this is not a cartoon. This is a performance motion capture film, which is completely new technology with a lot of risk taken, a lot of money involved, and above all, you have the superstar. So I think as a package, it's a great thing to have on the Indian film industry, and we have to see. I'm sure it's going to be successful, and it's going to set a role model for others to follow.
Right, Keshav, a final word from you. You're all set to watch the movie out there in Dubai.
Just looking forward. Of course, looking forward with my family and friends. In fact, it's end of the day, it's a Rajni movie, so a lot of expectations, and I'm sure we are not going to be disappointed.
Right, not to be disappointed. Coming to you, Ashish.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Right.
The line is breaking.
Right, Ashish, what would you like to tell us? The film is to be released tomorrow. You've already bought the tickets for 2 shows.
Yes, so I'm just pumped. I'm very excited to watch the film. Whatever it is, we are gonna see Talaivar after 4 years. We are gonna listen to him, and just all the best to the crew. I would like to convey that, and I'm so pumped about I'm looking forward for the film.
Right, coming to you, Professor Diwakar. What a movie like this, when how much what is the role of a cinematographer?
Well, a cinematographer has a tremendous contribution in the entire film, because you see, it has to do with with communicating the image, because cinema is basically a visual language, and cinematography is all about the visual treatment you make to the film. And of course, here it was in collaboration with the animators, so therefore it was a very highly technical, and therefore it may have taken much more time, because you can light up a sequence and shoot a sequence in a day or two in an actual studio, but then when you have to do it on the tabletop, you have to do it on the computer, it may have taken a little longer time, because the same inputs are being added technologically, and hence the amount of time required is much more, and it's much more expensive if it's done abroad. But in India, our technicians are working at probably the fraction of a cost at which it's done abroad, and therefore I think it's a great thing that it has happened in India. The entire film was made in Chennai, and hence people are looking forward to it. I think some special effects were done abroad also. They took it across and did some things, some components were done over there. But nevertheless, I think it is a brand Indian film. Therefore, it's something to be look forward to.
Right, and technology-wise, could we see it giving competition to a lot of other films, perhaps in the way youth, what youth expect from films after this?
And it's not just motion capture. There's quite a lot of hard work put in by animators and visualizers, because even after doing a motion capture, you have to do cleanup. And that movie also has animals, horses, birds, dragons. All those are animated. They are not motion captures. So there are other elements involved in the film.
Right, the whole of India, in fact, almost the whole of the world, as you just saw in this conversation, during this conversation, is geared up for the release of Rajinikanth's much hyped 3D motion capture film that releases tomorrow. We had with us our guest Atul Sinha, Assistant Professor Graphics and Animation from Jamia University, Diwakar Menon, Professor Cinematography again from Jamia University. We also had through Skype Keshav, who joined us from Dubai, Bala Bala also, as well as Ram and Ashish. Well, the conversation continues at indiapostlive.com. You can send in your posts, audio messages, video messages, tweets at the address #IndiaPostLive at indiapostlive.com.